Hey everybody, out on our bike ride on Father's Day. I usually don't do videos on the weekends because typically you don't get any subscribers or anything on the weekends usually. Matter of fact, instead of getting the normal 3 or 4 a day, I only got 2 for the whole entire weekend so far. So if your goal is subscribers, then I guess you're not going to meet them doing them on the weekends. And I've noticed that most of the videos are either released on Friday or Saturday, but I just don't push the button for now. So if you do it on Friday or Saturday, and by the time Monday or Tuesday comes around, YouTube isn't recommending your videos anymore because you haven't put any current subscription, you have current content on there. So we just decided to go out for a ride. Probably go out to dinner with my stepdaughter later, but it's nothing special's going on. Karen's been stopping taking pictures of the wildflowers. They change all the time. The flowers, one flower will bloom and then the next will bloom. There's always something blooming out here.
I saw probably at least 10 different kinds of flowers. I would have liked to stop more, but he gets a little frustrated when I stop. And the last time I stopped, the sweat bees got me. Had one bite my arm and one bite my back at the same time. The little stinkers.
Yeah, they having short hair out here on these bike rides, it kind of bugs me because the deer flies and the flies sit there and bop you on the side of the head the whole time you're riding. And if you don't have any hair, you feel it all the time. And as soon as you stop, they swarm you for a second, then they take off.
Honey, I have hair and I feel it, so.
Yeah, well, so they as soon as you stop, they'll swarm around you for a few minutes and then they disappear. But the minute you start off riding, it's really bad after it rained. It rained all day yesterday. Matter of fact, the roads are still kind of damp from it. But we're
supposed
just
to rain more this afternoon and this evening too.
Out. Yeah.
That's why we went early today.
Usually we don't go until the late afternoon because of traffic and stuff, but on a Sunday I guess it really doesn't matter. But it's supposed to be raining by 4 or 5 o'clock, so we decided to get out a little.
Which is the time that we normally leave.
Yeah, so just not much going on. Nice quiet day. We haven't seen any riders on the trail. We've seen cars at one parking area with bike racks on them, but I haven't seen a single bike out here today. Probably most people ride from Long Lake to Greenville. It's probably around 5 miles, just a little short of 5 miles to Greenville from Long Lake Road.
And I'll bet they stop and cool off in the river because it's kind of warm today.
It's so Karen's back brake's still giving me fits. I'm gonna have to do something about it before we leave. I'm actually gonna have to take her brake caliper off and see why it's constantly rubbing. It doesn't matter how it's set.
You better not, because then I'll go even faster than you, honey.
But I don't believe the caliper's that bent that it should be rubbing all the time. It doesn't really matter how I have it adjusted, so I'm assuming there's something wrong with the brake caliper. But I'm going to try to get it to stop making noise, at least. But it might require me to take it off and look at it, tear it apart, and see if there's something physically wrong with it. She's trying to get in the picture.
I'll scooch over and say hi, but I didn't want the camera on me because I'm a hot mess. Sweating pretty bad. I tell you, I've got the most sweat glands I think of anybody on this earth.
So somebody asked me what I carry for bike tools when I go out for a ride. Not much.
Hello.
Hello. Allen wrench set, a crescent wrench, and I have a CRT knife thingy that has some driver bits, but there's really nothing on the bike that uses other than the adjustments for the derailleur, and the only time you would need that is if you bent the derailleur hanger.
I just got bit by him, and now he's bugging you. It's a sweat bee.
And then the front, the shifter uses a Phillips head screw that attaches it, but other than that, there's not much you'd need it for. So basically, if I don't carry a tire patch kit, hopefully we never have two flat tires at the same time. Otherwise, it's a long walk home, and it wouldn't do any good to carry a spare inner tube. It might do some good to carry a CO2 inflator, and that's what I would recommend, is buy a CO2 inflator for your tire, because it's the smallest, most compact thing. You bring 3 or 4 cartridges for you so you can get enough pressure in your tire. And then maybe a Park or probably a Park tools, the patch kit. They are no glue patches. You just put them right on the hole and they tend to stick. I've never had one come off, but I have of those cheap ones that you buy at the store that are made out of rubber. I've had the edges peel up on those many times. So just go spend the money, spend $4 or $5 and get a Park patch kit. It looks like it's just going to be a little box that has 5 or 6 patches in it. The CO2 inflator, a pump is okay, but it's going to take you forever to pump up this tire anyway, so you'd be better off just buying the CO2 inflator and being done with it, because you can get the tire off without taking the wheel off. You can get one side out and maybe pull the inner tube around and find the flat. Usually it's obvious where you have a hole, unless it's from the rim tape or the spokes, then it might not be too obvious. But those are just simple tools. The Allen wrenches, so you can do adjustments and on the fly. Nothing worse than being out on a ride and having your bike and acting up, make a noise like Karen's does all the time. Yeah, well, I think we'll call that a video, just short and sweet, and we're going to get back on our way before the bugs eat us alive. So have a great day. Please subscribe and like.
Happy Father's Day and God bless.